Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I just wanted to do a quick video on the PDP and some of the details about it that I think aren't really covered all that well in a lot of the videos that I've seen on YouTube. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to note again that everything I talk about in regards to the PDP will be linked in the blog post in the description below. Now, the first thing that I wanted to talk about is how Walther designed the PDP to be a modular weapon system. Now, that means that any of the slide lengths that the PDP comes in will fit on any of the frame sizes that the PDP comes in. So, for example, this is a 4.5-inch barrel slide and a full-size frame. If I had a compact frame with a 4-inch slide, I could swap the slides and frames over, and they would still run and function as normal. Now, it's worth it to note that they might look a little bit funny, especially if you had a slide that's shorter than the frame that you had, or a slide maybe that's way longer than the frame you had. The dust cover wouldn't completely cover the recoil system, or vice versa, but it would function normally. The second thing I want to talk about is that Walther is currently offering direct milled slides for the PDP that are cut for various popular optic footprints. Now, these slides are footprint specific, so you need to know the footprint of your optic before you order one of these, or you risk the optic not fitting on the slide. Now, the difference here, as I mentioned, is that they're direct milled, so these will not use the plate system that you see on this PDP. The optic will fit directly to the slide and will screw directly to the slide. Another thing to note is that these are bare slides, so when you get it in, you're going to need to take out all the internals of your existing slide, drop them into that slide, transferring them over, and drop that onto your existing frame. You're also going to need a specific extractor plunger assembly, which Walther has on its site. Again, all this is going to be linked in the blog post in the description. One last thing to note is that these appear to be a limited run, so if you want one of these direct milled slides, you're probably going to want to buy one sooner than later. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is the accessory rail. Again, I have the 4.5-inch slide and the full-size frame, which I think is going to be one of the most popular configurations of this. From the front of the frame to the most forward part of the trigger guard, this is a distance of about 2.5 inches. So if you want to mount something here that's flush, completely flush with the front of the frame and the slide, it's going to have a maximum length of no more than 2.5 inches. Now, the next thing I wanted to look at are the factory sights and the fact that they are adjustable for both elevation and windage. The adjustments are made back here on the factory rear sight. You can see some screws there. You turn the screws to adjust elevation and windage. There are no adjustments on the front sight. It's all back here. The next thing I wanted to talk about with the factory sights is the fact that they are not tall enough to co-witness with most optics because of this plate mount. This Swamp Fox Justice that I have mounted up on here has a pretty low deck height, and even with that, the factory sights, they won't co-witness with this. As you can see, you can't even see them in the window. You can see the dot, but that's pretty much it. Now, one last thing to mention with the sights is the fact that they are Glock compatible. So if you want higher sights that will co-witness with your optic, like I do, you can just pick up some suppressor height sights and put them on here that are Glock compatible, and they'll drop right onto the PDP slide. Now, continuing with parts compatibility, the PDP is the successor to the PPQ. It's kind of an evolution of the PPQ design, and as such, it shares a good number of parts with the PPQ. Walther has a page on their website that talks about the parts compatibility between the PPQ and the PDP, and again, I'll throw that in the blog post linked in the description. The one thing that I did want to mention, though, was the magazines. Walther notes that PPQ M2 magazines will fit the PDP compact directly, but they will not fit the PDP full-sized. So that was just a couple of things I think that are interesting or good to know about the PDP that aren't necessarily covered in any videos I've seen. Coming up soon on the channel, we've got more videos with the GX4 as well as another gun in the Micro 9 concealed carry category. So if that interests you, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. If you know someone that has a PDP or is looking at one, share them this video because it's got information that I think they can use. Throw me a like or a comment if you appreciate what I'm doing, and don't forget to ring that bell on your way out. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you this time. So until next time, stay safe.